Okay, so what is officially your current job title?
I am the Director of Recreation for the School District of Lake Mills, and then we call ourselves the Lake Mills Recreation Department.
So how does that work exactly?
So we operate through a special fund within the school district that's called Fund 80, and so it allows us to levy taxes outside of the regular Fund 10 and the other funds within the school district, and so we're able to levy more taxes to reach a broader base of revenue from that, but then also unlike some cities where they have city limits, where they have to just have residents and non-residents, even though you're still within the school district,
Right.
but you're within the city, we have broadened that too. So our non-residents are truly those who don't live in Lake Mills or the surrounding area around us. So it's a really unique way of running a recreation department.
Yeah,
But that also means that we don't have parks other than some of the special projects that we do on school district property.
I thought that was really unique how it's a lot different than a lot of other cities in that way.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you think that gives you like a better relationship working with the school district itself too?
Oh, for sure. And it utilizes or leverages the facilities that already exist that the taxpayers have put into for us to use it outside of the regular school day. But just thinking about like gymnasiums, our gyms are booked solid from right after school till sometimes 9 at night. And we can do it seamlessly versus working with your school district. We are essentially the school district. We also have a really strong relationship with our parks department here in town. We have several ball fields that we utilize, green space for like other fields. So it's a nice, we're very lucky here in town to have a positive relationship on both sides.
I think I've played at some of the ball diamonds here
Oh, yeah.
at the elementary school.
Yeah,
There's like four diamonds there, I think.
there were 3 diamonds at the elementary school, which are gone because the new school got built on top of those.
Okay.
And so our new ball diamonds are out at a city park, Wallace Park, which is in the industrial park. And so we've got
I know where that is.
Yeah, we got a fourplex or whatever you want to call it, 4-leaf clover configuration of diamonds out there that we actually chipped into as well as a school district. We paid in considerable amount because we were losing our diamonds, so we needed them. So it was a great partnership.
So where did you go to school?
I started off at UW Rock County. Wasn't sure what I wanted to get into. Just kind of felt things out there. Actually, I had one class at Madison College when I was still trying to figure things out, and then I ended up landing on UW Whitewater, which there I kind of found this recreation track, and I really kind of fell in love with the idea of working in this space versus, funny enough, I'm working in a school, but I did want to become a phy ed teacher. Yeah. But then recreation kind of fell into my lap, and it's great. So yeah.
I think a lot of people kind of follow that same path. Like they love sports, they love all that stuff, and a lot of people follow that same way.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you have Tracy as your teacher?
Yeah, yeah. She was. I couldn't even tell you what class. But she's. There's some professors that you have and you don't remember, and she was one that you definitely remembered. A lot of energy. So it's awesome that gets to be your.
Yeah, the program head. She does an amazing job.
Awesome.
What was your first job after you graduated?
Well, in recreation, I was like any other kid who was doing here and there, either helping with clinics and stuff while still in school or running open gyms. But then I ended up interning in Cambridge at their rec department, and then as I had finished up, or just before finishing up there, they said, hey, can you help with this? And then it just kind of snowballed into, here's another responsibility, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one. So it really helped, keep me in there, because sometimes as a student, if you don't find success right away, you try all right, I got to pay the bills somehow, but really me getting my nose in there and you know, working hard, it really kind of helped with adding more. So that was my first job, was in Cambridge. Yeah.
Do you feel like that was a good start into leading to where you are now?
Oh, for sure. The leadership there was great. There was a lot of trust. There was a lot of understanding. Because as a student, you don't know everything, and so you're going to make mistakes. And so if you have somebody there to mentor you to learn how to do it differently, or think outside the box, or sometimes think within the box when it comes to like policy things, you know, that was very valuable. So yeah.
I guess, what does a day in the life of Ben look like?
So another positive thing, I guess it depends on how you want to look at it, with recreation, is it's never the same. While I was in college, I had odd jobs, that even like working in a metal fabrication shop, where it was a lot of pushing a single button and repetition. Whereas in recreation, I mean, I can be primarily, just because of my role, I'm more or less behind a computer quite a bit, but I do try to make an effort to get out there and see different people, get out to the fields, and sometimes umpire, ref a flag football game. I still am working with like our youth basketball program, where I'll be the on-site supervisor on any given weekend. But primarily I am behind the desk. But yeah, it's sometimes you have reports to do. Sometimes you've got. I mean, we are managing essentially a small business, so there's a lot of that technical side that you got to know too, finances and stuff too. But yeah, it's all over the map.
Are you in charge of finances as well here, or do you have a separate person for that?
I've got our budget that you know, I have to be able to make work for us, so that we don't make too much money in certain programs and don't lose too much on others. So there's that kind of ebb and flow. I guess the day-to-day things like reconciling of our accounts and that kind of stuff, I don't do that. There's somebody else who does that. Within a school district, we also have a business director too. So the big picture things, like audits and reporting to the state, I don't do that.
You just do a lot of the small program.
Yep, it's just kind of the direct things that we're doing, programs that we're doing. That's kind of my responsibility.
What goals do you have for your job and your position, and how do you plan to achieve them?
Goals. I think I've had. I mean, every year you try to set new goals for what you want to accomplish as a department. Professionally, I think it always kind of has been growth in understanding more about things that I don't necessarily know, but also focusing on what you're really good at, and then finding those other people who fill in. And we've been lucky to have people who've been here who know a lot about the community, and then also finding those who really complement us too. But goals, you know, overall, it's just professional development, continue to learn more, be engaged with not just Lake Mills, but understand the state as a whole, getting in touch with WPRA and getting involved in WPRA. That's been kind of on my list of things that I want to do, and I'm currently in a role within the rec section of WPRA. Yeah, so.
Yeah, did you think it was really interesting just learning like what a lot of the different cities were doing, and just some of their successes is just unreal, isn't it?
Oh, totally. And the nice thing about other cities too, I mean, we all share ideas,
right?
Very freely, I would say. And I don't know other industries, but we definitely do a really good job at that as rec professionals. Just, I mean, I know I've gotten ideas from others and tried to implement them here, and the community loves it because it seems like a fresh idea, even though it was done
Right.
somewhere else.
Right.
And then the same goes here. So like at WPA, you make a few comments within a session, and all of a sudden you've got 2 people coming up to you and asking, "Tell me more about that." You know, so our industry is really great. We're very inclusive in a lot of the.
That is one of the
ideas.
things I like is like it's very collaborative and no, it's not like a lot of the other industries where you're very focused on just doing your stuff and that's it. Like people are very willing to share their ideas and share their successes, which is
Mhm.
kind of cool.
Definitely.
Another question I have for you is, what is the most effective daily habit that you have?
I would say it's. I mean, it's a simple thing, but I wouldn't say I was the best at this when I was a student. But just keeping a regular to-do list, and then obviously setting priorities within that to-do list. Far too often, I found myself relying on my mind to remember things, and that doesn't work. And so just taking that realization, I gotta put it down. I gotta put it in my calendar. I have to write down these tasks and then try to prioritize them. And sometimes when things don't make it on that list, you forget about it, and then you find out, whoops. But there's only, I mean, it's always going to happen, but the more times that does, it really makes you fall back on that. Falling into your, whatever that to-do list is, make sure that you're prepping yourself for the next day so that you can continue to move and not miss on the little things. Plus, it also makes it easier to focus on the big things too, so that you don't have to worry about this because you're checking those off, but then you can actually, put some time in your big picture things, and then doing the hardest things first.
That's something that I think Tracy and Kayla are trying to push to us students a little more too, is like managing yourself a little bit more, planning stuff out,
Mhm.
and knowing that it's due, not waiting until the last minute to
Yeah.
get stuff done. Because I feel like that's a very typical college thing
Oh, totally.
to do. Is just,
Yeah.
oh shoot, that's due tomorrow, and then you just do it,
Yeah.
cram it in. And
You'll you'll learn fast with the industry that's what we do. Like right now, we're working on a brochure, and we're planning out several months in advance, and that's what's going into my calendar is this thing after that, next, making sure that we're not missing anything. But that's it. We're constantly playing into the future. So, yeah.
What do you find most challenging about your job?
I mean, there's little things, there's big things. I mean, we work in an industry with people, and when you work with an industry like making something like this, yeah, there's challenges that may pop up, but you're really making a single thing. Whereas when you're working with people, this person has one idea, this person has another, this person has another, and sometimes they don't always mesh.
Right.
And so it's really trying to work with everybody, yet still maintaining that focus on whatever your mission is or the direction that the program and or organization needs to go. So it's a challenge to work with people, but then that also makes it rewarding too when you figure things out. Sometimes it can make it really tough when there's not a resolution. So those are probably the hardest times, is when you can't quite find a resolution. But yeah, just the people component, it shifts. It's a moving target. But again, it's a positive as well because it's rewarding. So
Sometimes they think of things that you'll never think of, and
totally, yeah.
What advice would you have liked to heard when you were starting out? It's a tough question.
Yeah, well, I guess not being afraid to, like you just said, people can have good ideas, right? So not being afraid to speak that idea out to others, but also understanding that there's a lot of people who have a lot of experience who you will probably be working with. So also, you know, feeding off of their experiences, but then also, I guess being willing and not afraid to speak up for your own opinions on whatever that would be, or ideas. So I think that would be one. Yeah, I think that's a big one though. I mean, in anything, and that's why, like, as a leader, I mean, I've kind of said it to my team that, you know, you should never be above a good idea. So just because I may be the one who has to answer to whatever that idea may, or whatever issues may pop up, not all ideas have to be set by me.
Right.
It really comes, it's a free flow of ideas, and whatever strongest idea rises to the top, that's it. Doesn't have to be mine. So.
I know I was talking to Jonathan. He was the head of the young professionals at
Oh, sure.
WPRA.
Okay.
And so there's like a mentor program. And I was talking to him about it, and I was just kind of voicing my opinion on what I liked about it and what I thought can improve. And I was telling him, like, maybe make them more like personality based, or like base them off like your interests rather than just like a random professional. Because I feel like that's a big thing with having a mentor, is just having a good connection with them and being a like-minded person.
Yes and no. I mean, I see what you're saying, definitely, because if it's agonizing, you know, and you're like, why do I have to keep working with this person? That can be tough. But even with, like in my team, I mean, we will have straight up disagreements. And so seeing another perspective is also really good. So there's some give and take, and that, I guess, comes with the freedom of somebody who accepts different ideas. But no, I see what you're saying, and I think that's a good path to try to get down.
I can definitely see both sides.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have someone with an outside perspective, and sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone and work with someone else. But
Yep. Yeah.
to me, the bond is important.
Oh, absolutely, and that's our business, is making connections. So definitely.
What trends do you see developing over the next few years?
Well, there's trends that I would like to see, and I think so. There's obviously like large cities, and then there's densely populated areas. Milwaukee, like all the cities around Milwaukee, Madison, same thing.
Right.
And then there's small communities like ours, farming communities. I would like to see more connections, co-ops between our smaller communities that are, using Milwaukee as an example. It could take me 20 minutes or half an hour to get from like the north side to the south side, or the east to the west, or whatever that may be. For us to go from Lake Mills to Marshall, or Lake Mills to Jefferson or Cambridge, it's 15 minutes.
Right.
And so people are willing to make that drive, I feel like, and if we could figure out some sort of way to have a co-op between ourselves to offer similar program, or not similar, but offer a program, and then market it to the other communities to make a broader selection. And, you know, on the flip side too, make it kind of easy on the consumer, because if they don't have an interest, let's just say like outdoor adventure, right? I tried doing that a couple of years ago, didn't fly. I had one person sign up. Unfortunately, I had to cancel on them because you can't run a program with one person. And so if we hosted it, yet we're able to have a network of other people pushing that same program, that one person turned into 5 or 10 because there's 2 people from this community, 2 from there, 2 from there. So a program that could really impact this one person's life potentially could actually run, and then would also maybe foster more connections throughout other communities. So
I like that idea of collaborating with other communities. And
Yeah.
that would work really well with parks too. I think
totally.
There's potential there. Like, someone's building a new facility, like, and they might not have the same resources as the other neighboring cities. I think that'd be a cool way to combine with them.
Yeah.
How do you stay current?
I try to read. I'm not somebody who reads a lot. I'm gonna be totally out there. It's not my whatever. it's not my thing as much as it should be. But either trying to stay up on what's happening in sports. So obviously, like social media, I try to keep up on, and that's kind of, we are recreation and we are the main provider of like youth sports in our community, whereas some others might be shifted in events. But so anyway, in youth sports, being on Twitter and following people from like Changing the Game or the Project Play from Aspen Institute, following people on that on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Also NRPA, WPRA, the newsletters that they send out, the publications that are sent out. I try to do that as much as I can. It's very easy to click delete on some of those emails because it just there's only so many hours in the day.
Right.
But definitely trying to, I know it always happens. When I click open this one random time, I'll find something that really connects, and that one nugget of information will, spark something else. Yeah.
Yeah, light bulb goes off.
But definitely like the communication that we have. Again, we're all really good at communicating with each other. So different ideas, bouncing ideas off of other people, round tables, going to par 3 meetings are definitely a great way to bounce ideas and stay current.
That one kind of brushed on this one, but how do you, or what do you do for professional development?
Attend our association meetings, attending the conference, the annual conference that is always bears some sort of fruit from attending that. I went to the national conference a couple years ago, which was awesome, and I would recommend everybody doing that at least once. Yeah, I guess that's the biggest thing. Every once webinars, things like that. Every once in a while, I'll try to do that for professional development.
How often, or how does that work with NRPA? Does that rotate from states, or how does that?
Oh yeah, I think they're located out of Washington or somewhere in there, Virginia. I don't know if they're actually in Washington D.C., but they're somewhere in that greater D.C. area. But they rotated, like it was in New Orleans when I went, Baltimore this last year, Orlando next year, and then Nashville, I believe, the year after. So it kind of bounces around. I know it's been in California. They've
it's
rotated.
Good that they do that.
Yeah. Oh, totally. So.
You kind of said what organizations are you part of? NRPA, WPRA, anything
Yep,
else?
those two. We are now getting into the senior center realm, or older adults within our community. So there's the Wisconsin Association of Senior Centers. I'll probably start getting involved with that, only just really to get connected and know that we're doing best practices, and again, making those connections with other people. Beyond that, I haven't necessarily been involved in any other associations, but it's also good too, going back on the conferences. There's other states, Illinois. This last year we had a lot of speakers from Illinois, so maybe attending their conference would be good. But yeah, so that's kind of the network that I've got. Mainly it's just NRPA and then WPRA, but also kind of getting into that senior center area.
That's pretty much all I got for you for questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time today. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.